So I had a lot of people asking questions about the football trading simulator with regards to testing strategies, saying it's well and good to test the strategies, but what if I want to test the strategies on specific match profiles, like a match with two evenly matched teams, or a match with a really, really strong favorite, or a match with a team around an evens favorite, or something similar to that, right? And of course, we can do absolutely that. We can manually put in the type of match that we are looking for, and then we can look to try and build a strategy for that. Okay, so what I've put in, as you can see here, Chelsea against Burnley, this fits the profile of a strong favorite match. Okay, so Chelsea 1.28, and you see a few of these every round of each domestic league in Premier League, in La Liga, in Bundesliga, and all that sort of thing. Okay, with the very strong favorites. So what if we wanted to try and build a strategy which can take advantage of matches like that? Okay, so what I've done is I've just put in this particular match, Chelsea against Burnley, with Chelsea at 1.28, and I'm going to head to the simulator. And what we're going to do is we're just going to test a later draw trade, and also test a back the favorite trade to kind of see what would be maybe the more profitable angle. Okay, and we can start to then build your strategy from there. Okay, and that's before we even look at a correct score market, the goal markets, all that sort of thing. Best to keep it simple right at the start. But let me just show you, if we go back to match setup, now you can put in the goal times, and I'm going to put in what is probably like an average first goal time of around 41 minutes, and we're going to put it there to be scored by Chelsea. Okay, so let's put that in. Now we've laid the draw there, £100 stake, so £660 exposure into the market. And then what we can do is we can just move the clock forward to 42 minutes and see what happens. If Chelsea do take the lead around that point, we can see our profit, if we were to lock it in at that point, is £24 of profit. Not that great, actually, when you think about it. Let me just move the clock forward to like 60 minutes and just see what that does for us. If that increases the profit, gets it up to £33 and all that sort of thing. So either way, the simulator can help you decide whether this sort of profit is worth it. Okay, if we move it forward to 75 minutes, maybe a £50 profit is a lot more worth it. But anyway, as you know though, that's us putting the goals in to the market like that. Okay, you're probably wondering, how can we test it without knowing the goal times? And I'm going to explain that in just a moment. But let's start this match again. And we saw that it was around, what, £25 of profit if we laid the draw. What if we were to back Chelsea, just back the favourite? Okay, we know that Chelsea are more likely going to be the team to take the lead. So what if we took that £660 of exposure and then used it to back Chelsea instead of laying the draw? Okay, already you can see a higher profit potential of £184. Now let's move that clock forward to 42 minutes. And just take a look at this. And that goal to Chelsea by backing the favourite gives us a profit at that point of £81. That's significantly higher than the £25 if we were to lay the draw in this particular match. Okay, so that's pretty notable, and it's obviously, when you are using this software to test your strategies, it's things like this that you're going to look out for. Okay, but anyway, let me show you how we can basically test this at random. So what we do here, and this is the key thing, I need to really make sure a lot of people are aware of this. We are in manual mode, so we're going to look for the goal time source. Now we've inputted the goals already, but we want it to be randomized. Okay, so we click on random goals. I did click on random goals, right? And then we're going to simulate new game. Okay, and then what it's doing now is it's actually going to load a game from the background and reset the market. And now let me just head to match setup to just show you something. Now if we look at the manual match center, now look at this box, qualifying games, 456 games. Now what does it mean by that? Now we've got Chelsea there at 1.28, we've got the away dog at 12, and we've got over 2.5 goals at 1.8. So what it's done is it's looked through the database to find matches with this exact same setup: a home favorite at that price, away underdog at that price, and the over 2.5 goals at that price. And it's found 456 of them. And basically, it's just picked one of those matches at random to now simulate, okay? So we are now going to be trading one of those matches. And the reason why this is good is because it's going to keep the probabilities intact, okay? So it's not like it's just going to throw random goals in where we might have the away underdog winning 4 or 5-0. We know that that's very unrealistic. So what it's done is it's found matches which fit the exact same profile, okay? So we can now test our strategy pretty confident that we are testing a match which is realistic to those prices that are available. So let's try again with a later draw on this one. And of course, now we don't know when these goals are going to be scored. And this really puts the strategy to the test of whatever you're testing. Okay. So if we just click on next goal in this one, and it's looking like Burnley took the lead there. Okay. On 67 minutes. And of course it happens, right? We know that happens. So what we would do is we would lock in that loss, and we're looking at £137 of loss on that one, right? So let's end the match, and that is a later draw. So not a good start if you are testing this strategy, okay? And so obviously we can now record that later draw trade, but now what we can do is we can start that same match again, and we can see how our back the favorite trade would have done, okay? Which is obviously it looked good in the practice if Chelsea took the lead, but now we're going to get a good idea of how it works with the worst case scenario. So let's move it forward in this one to see next goal and see what the damage is, because we know Burnley are going to take the lead, and so that's quite a hefty bit of damage, okay? So obviously we did that quick test to see in the ideal scenario if Chelsea took the lead. We saw that it was pretty good to back the favourite in that situation, but you kind of see now the pros and cons of laying the draw, okay? Here, we're laying the draw, and the loss was not as big if we were to, you know, if the underdog were to take the lead, okay? And then Burnley did go on and win 2-0. So, you know, there is scope for saying that if you were laying the draw, you should have just let it run. You could have made the whole profit there anyway. But anyway, look, now we've got a good test already of the worst case scenarios. I'm going to click on simulate new game so we can give it another go. But yeah, that's an interesting first test. But anyway, now what it's going to do, and like I said, it's going to now draw another match from the database. And this is not going to be the same match, okay? So let's try it again. Chelsea against Burnley. And you would think that with such a strong home favourite that Chelsea are going to be taking the lead and we can start to claw back some of this profit. Okay, so very quick early goal to Chelsea, and now we could actually lock in £52, okay, which is interesting, and you kind of see that in the markets. If a strong favourite takes an early lead, then the draw price can often go a little bit higher than it really should do. So anyway, we'll end the match, and in the end, Chelsea won that 4-1, okay, so comfortable win, and we can apply that to the later draw. And obviously that later draw loss is going to be starting to be clawed back. Okay, now we want to click on start match again. We're going to do the same match, but we're going to try our back the favorite strategy and see if see how this one plays out. Okay, so let's back Chelsea here 1.28, and then we know that they're going to take a very early lead in this one, and let's see what the profit is and how it looks. So £108, okay? So it's interesting. It's very interesting. So you can kind of see already the pros and cons of backing the favourite versus laying the draw. And the idea is that obviously the more you do this over and over again with the software, the better of an idea you are going to have. Because I do get a lot of questions from people saying, well, why lay the draw? You're just looking for the favourite to take the lead. So why not just back the favourite and all that sort of thing? And obviously other people also say, why don't you just lay the 0-0 and so on and so on? Well, now you can test it and you can really start to get an idea of what it can do, right? So anyway, I'm sure you get the idea. I'm not going to do this over and over and over again because it's going to get quite boring for you. But that is just an idea of what you can do. And it also just shows you how it works in the background. Remember, this is drawing out random matches from the database, and then we're going to trade them with the goals flying in seemingly at random, okay? But this is actually just based on a previous match which fit the same odds profile, right? And then you can really put strategies to the test, and you can test multiple strategies and just keep going, okay? So anyway, I hope that explains it. We didn't make any profit with the strategies we were testing, but I'm pretty sure if we carried on, we could have got that into profit. But anyway, either way, we didn't lose any money, okay? So that's another plus of the software, is that when you're testing out all these strategies, you're not actually losing any of your own money in the process. Anyway, overall, it is a genius bit of kit, and the possibilities are absolutely endless. If you have any strategy idea in your mind, you can put it to the test using a simulator. You don't have to risk any of your own money before finding out if a strategy works or not. And you can also save a huge amount of time, okay? You could do a whole month's worth of trading within just a few hours, all right? So what used to take months or years of testing to prove a strategy can now only take days if you want. And this is a pretty remarkable breakthrough. And anyone who is serious about adding another income stream to their portfolio should be getting a hold of this, and you should be starting to build your own dream strategy right away. Okay, now as we put this video out, access has been open today for those in batch 1. You should have had your email invite by now. If you haven't had it, you're in batch 1, then feel free to email in. The doors will close at midnight on Sunday. Okay, now if you want to try and get in and get a hold of this before midnight on Sunday, submit your email address below, and if it's still available, you will get an email back with further details. Okay, it should be below the video. Either you have to click a link, or you can just put your email address into the box. And like I said, if there are still spots available, you'll get an email back with further details. If you are too late, we'll have to add you to the waiting list for the next batch of invites. Okay, so if you've got any interest in building and finding your own perfect set of strategies that no one else will have, because you are finding them yourself, and also just testing out strategies and really putting them to the test, then this is the software you need. Okay, if you are interested, submit your email address below and get on that list, and we will email you back ASAP and let you know what the situation is. Okay, so that's for the football trading simulator software. So anyway, if you did miss it the other day, though, we did put a video out which showed the football trading super sim in a lot more detail. So if you did miss that one, then you might want to check out that video. It's going to be on the screen right now. Click on that video, and I'll see you in the next video.